So some breaking news in terms of the world of Ukad. Dillian Whyte has now been cleared by Ukad of any wrongdoing following his, what was it? I don't want to say failed test, but it was a banned substance. We'll say that was found in one of his Ukad tests prior to him facing Oscar Rivas. Ukad have released some statements, and these are some key points: that steroid metabolic levels were extremely low. Ukad accepted Whyte's explanation. Negative VADA test 3 days earlier. Nothing to suggest to use steroids. Consistent with condiment event. That's what it says here. No, contaminated events, I should say. Sorry. Ukad satisfied of no wrongdoing. Okay, so that's what they've said here. Now, they have released a statement. Now, I'm going to read this, but it's quite hard because it's a Twitter statement, and I'm reading on an iPhone, which is not the easiest because it kind of goes all over the place. But this is what Ukad have to say. So, I'm going to just read the first statement. So it says, UK anti-doping and the professional boxer Dillian Whyte can today jointly confirm that Mr. Whyte was charged with an anti-doping violation earlier this year, but this has now been cleared, or this charge, I should say, has now been withdrawn. The charge was brought after a sample of Mr. Whyte on June 20th indicated the presence of two metabolistic, steroids. Ukad initially investigated, with which Mr. Whyte cooperated fully. Ukad have accepted the explanation provided by Mr. Whyte, and in the end, according to UK anti-doping rules, the charge against Mr. Whyte has been withdrawn. It says, in respect of Mr. Whyte's drug testing results, the following points are relevant. There is nothing in Mr. Whyte's longitude urinary profile to suggest he used steroids. I don't know if they're talking about recently or all time, because we know he was popped for that Jack 3D stuff several years ago. The levels of metabolites, I think is how you pronounce it, found in Mr. Whyte's June the 20th sample were extremely low. Mr. Whyte had provided a urine sample to VADA on June 13th. I think they must mean July, because this fight happened in July. Maybe I'm wrong. 3 days before his June 20th sample, which was tested by WADA, which returned a negative result for all substances in question. Mr. Whyte provided several other doping control samples to Ukad and VADA between the 20th of June and the 20th of July. All tests were negative. In light of these points, the trace amounts of what was found in Mr. Whyte's June 20th sample are consistent with an isolated contaminating event, and they are not suggestive of doping. I'm just trying to read here. I'm just trying to see, is there any mention of the B sample here? Because I ain't seen any mention of the B sample. And look, he's cleared. Dillian Whyte's been cleared. That's that. Some people are going to be, wondering, is this corruption? Look, I honestly don't know. I really don't know. I'm not in Ukad. I'm not in with what's going on with these people. But I want to see why there's no reference to the B sample there, because I want to know what happened with Dillian Whyte's B sample, because we've never heard anything about that. That seems to have just gone away. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe that there's no need for the B sample. But to me, I kind of want to liken this to drink driving or something like that. If, especially in Ireland, if you have 0.0001 milligram of alcohol in your substance, that guard or that cop, he's pulling you in, and you are getting a fine, and you're getting the 3-month suspension with your driver's license. So with me, when I see someone has minimum traces of a substance, well, that substance shouldn't be there in the first place. That's the way I've been looking at it. And with the whole Tyson, Ukad, I think, are completely incompetent when it comes to drug testing and stuff like that. Because if you look at the Tyson Fury situation, he was, well, we know what they're saying, he failed. Fair enough, right? So we'll say he failed. So I was going to say allegedly failed, but he failed. Fair enough, right? But why is it that if he fails a drug test in February 2015, he's allowed to, go over a year before that substance, before they actually come out and say, actually, you failed the test for this fight? Because he failed the test for the Christian Hammer fight. He was allowed to go to Germany to fight Klitschko, signed up for the rematch, and then when Fury makes these, homophobic comments, all of a sudden, you failed the drugs test. That's just what I'm thinking. It might mean nothing. But where is the B sample? That's my question. There's no mention of it in, UKAD's statement. And, like I said, it is what it is. It's Dillian Whyte's been cleared at the end of the day. That's what it is. Whether you agree with it or not, it's enough said. The man's been cleared. But there's some questions that I want to ask anyway. But as I said, we'll leave it at that. So Dillian Whyte now being officially cleared. Let me know what you think down below. Be interested to hear what some of the people have to think. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did. Subscribe for new, of course. And as always, I will talk to you after.